told you this, your reaction to Travis's reaction.
So this is odd because, James Gladstone, the GM of the Jags, in January alluded that this was probably going to happen on the record, on video, last year, Travis played, when he played, 67% of the snaps on offense, and 33% on defense. It sounds to me like what they're saying is this, that they're going to flip that, and that he is. And what Gladstone alluded to was, we have one position that has a lot of guys that we're going to lose in free agency, which was corner, and one position where we have a lot of depth, which is wide receiver. So we'll probably use Travis as such. So I didn't view Rappaport's report, which was actually him quoting Cameron Wolf's report, which Cameron Wolf, I think, was just kind of quoting what Gladstone had said on the record as, massive breaking news. It is, however, if Travis Hunter's pissed about it.
Well, that's the thing.
If Travis is upset that they're like, hey, you're going to be our starting CB1, our top outside corner, and a situational receiver, and that's not what he wants, I think that is problematic. And he has said in the past, remember, he was like, I'd quit football if I couldn't play both ways. And now they're not saying, Brew, he can't play both ways. But the fact that he responded to that somewhat innocuous report by, putting up a wall against, I thought was noteworthy.
Yeah, and you would think he knows what Gladstone said, but sometimes guys just get away, and maybe he didn't see it. They may be telling him, though, face-to-face or on the telephone, whatever it is, yeah, you're going to play both ways. But in their mind, they're thinking sporadically on offense or occasionally on offense, but the full focus will be defense. It's very possible they haven't articulated to him, you're not going to be full-time both ways, and they're just playing with words or whatever it might be. But he clearly has made it clear he wants to play both ways. The smart thing, though, is what they're doing. I just don't believe he can survive. I think his best chances of being a star are to play one side of the ball primarily, whether it's offense or defense. Apparently it's going to be defense. You can do spot work on the other side. If he plays both ways, I don't think he'll be a star on either side. He'll be.
Yeah, this was the most ridiculous storyline last year, and it's now shaping up to be the most ridiculous storyline this year. He's not playing on both sides of the ball. He's not going to be elite on offense and defense. That's just not happening. He's not going to walk away from football. The fact that this narrative keeps dragging on honestly bothers me. It was annoying last year when everyone pretended he could be a Pro Bowler on both sides. People were asking, can he become Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year? And it was like, this is the dumbest thing because it's not grounded in reality. We're not actually having serious conversations. We're just inventing things. It's like those magazines at the grocery store checkout counter. It's not a real discussion. It just irritates me. Honestly, because there are so many actual, real topics to talk about. And now someone says, well, maybe they didn't really explain it clearly to Travis Hunter. How did you not explain it clearly to him? What are you even talking about? You mean the coaching staff and everyone who needed to have that conversation with Travis didn't? You mean he never sat down and discussed it? They never talked about it? They're not all on the same page? That's even dumber then. That makes even less sense, right? That's even worse. It really is. That's even worse. So, I find this entire situation completely absurd. And I hated when Travis Hunter said that thing last year about how ED just go home. Really? You're just going to quit football if you can't play both ways? Grow up. Because he said, I've done this my whole life. And that's when I responded, I don't care. I don't care what you did in Pee Wee football. I don't care what you did in high school. I don't care what you did in college. It's about what you do in the NFL. And he didn't even stay healthy during his rookie year. I'm not even saying that was because he played both sides, but it's incredibly hard to stay healthy even when you're only full-time on one side of the ball, let alone full-time on both sides. The number of hours and the physical wear and tear your body has to endure just from practice alone is insane. You either have to cut your repetitions on one side, or you have to double up on both. Either way, it's not feasible. You're not going to be elite if you're cutting your practice time in half. And you're certainly not going to be able to put in the same level of effort and energy if you're going full-time on both sides in practice. You don't have enough energy. Your body can't handle it. The human body can only take so much. And do you know what increases your chances of injury? Fatigue. It's fatigue. It's overuse. You're wearing your body down. It happens when you try to push your body beyond its limits. So again, something like this is just so frustrating. It really is, because there's too much at stake for the Jaguars to have to deal with nonsense like this. Do you realize that the most we've talked about the Jaguars on these shows is about whether Travis Hunter will play both ways? I mean, that's really where the bulk of the conversations about the Jaguars last season and now this offseason have gone. You realize that, right? That's why I get as annoyed as I do, because we're having the wrong conversation. This is so absurd. And I find it irritating. And I hate that Travis Hunter is fueling it. And that's because he's built his entire identity around being a two-way player. And I understand that. That's who he was. That's how he defined himself. I'm the guy who dominates on both sides of the ball. That's who I am. That's how he's constructed his football identity. And now that identity is under threat. I get it, and I'm sympathetic to it. But you know what? You're very well compensated. And you're trying to win a Super Bowl. This isn't the Travis Hunter show. This is the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the reality is, if you actually want to be elite on both sides of the ball, then you kind of have to do it on your own time. You have to make it inevitable. It's not up to the Jaguars to go through the whole song and dance trying to figure out if they can make it work. If you're going to do that, you have to be so undeniable that the Jaguars don't have a choice. That's how it works. They don't have a choice. It's like when quarterbacks first started becoming mobile. You had to be so good at running, so elite, that the team said, we have no choice but to let this guy run. And unless Travis Hunter is doing that on both sides of the ball, it's not up to the Jaguars to hold his hand and make it all work. It's not their responsibility. There's too much to do. There's too much work to put in, and not enough time or energy to do it. Do you know how many players are on a football team? It's more than 52, by the way. There are a ton of moving parts. So this isn't the Travis Hunter show. It never was, and it never will be. It's not even the Trevor Lawrence show. So, yeah. I get extra annoyed with these kinds of things when I know a team has potential. When I know a team can actually be great and win a lot of games, because I just think, what are we doing? What are we talking about? What is this right now? It just seems silly to me. And it was silly last year, and guess what? I was proven correct. I went on my whole rant last summer about it and said, this is so dumb. This isn't going to happen. Because again, I remember the conversation, can he win Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year? I can't believe we were actually going to try to answer that question and treat it like it was a legitimate question, when it was obviously never going to happen. So, don't become the Dallas Cowboys of the AFC. Where we're constantly having conversations that don't matter. Is Jerry Jones going all in this year? Are the Cowboys going to win the Super Bowl? Don't do that. It's not worth it. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, we're having it is this something or nothing conversation because of Travis Hunter questioning reports about playing both ways. Oh, come on, man. Come on. You were one play away from facing the Broncos, a team that you dominated. You were one step away from putting yourself in a position to reach the AFC Championship game. And we saw how Drake May and the Patriots were playing. You were in a position to get to the actual Super Bowl. We don't have time to play these games. The only way it works, again, is if it's inevitable. If it becomes undeniable. If Travis Hunter forces your hand to the point where you say, I can't say no because this is too great. This is too special. And that's not what he's done so far. That's not what he's done. And this brings us to the revisionist history of Deion Sanders. This was his so-called unbelievable wide receiving career. He had 1 catch, 3 catches, 6 catches, 2 catches, 36 catches. That's pretty good. 1 year, 36 catches, 475 yards, 1 touchdown. 7 catches, 4 catches. He had -8 yards, 17 yards, 45 yards, 106 yards, 25 yards. Again, in 1996, 475 yards. Definitely awesome. Then only 100 yards, which, mind you, 55 of those yards came from a single play, okay? So in 11 games, essentially, he only had 55 yards outside of that one 55-yard play? Actually, it was 45 yards? Not so good. And 0 touchdowns. So, you understand? You're going to compete with Jackson Smith-Njigba part-time? You're going. G to compete with Puka Nacua part-time? George Pickens part-time? Jamar Chase part-time? Amon-Ra St. Brown part-time? That's the game we're going to try to invent. Justin Jefferson? Devontae Adams? A.J. Brown? Zay Flowers? Nico Collins? C.D. Lamb? Just stop. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Jacksonville Jaguars, Travis Hunter, this will he won't he, will they won't they? Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get some discussions going, let's get some debates, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you be a part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.